Most of us do not overpromise because we are bad in managing our time or we are dishonest. It's because we get that immediate reward from saying yes to someone. We feel good. We don't think about the consequences that it comes with it, the other meetings, the other bottlenecks that comes with that task to finish it on time. We forget about that in a second and we just say yes. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 rules that I follow every time that I get a new task or project. And if you are new here, my name is Ehsan. I make videos about how to be productive at work. I also have a newsletter that I share one doodle every week with some stories that you can sign up, link in the description below. So I already talked about this psychology of saying yes and that immediate reward that we get, and we do not think about the long-term consequences that comes with this, that you have to push other tasks to the end of the work or the weekend to just stay on top of the tasks that you have. Let's start with the kind of tasks we are dealing with during a day. We have 2 types of tasks. One is the one that I like to call it high focus, and those tasks needs your 100% attention. You do not want to get interrupted. You want to have that deliberate focus to just stay and work on those tasks. You do not want to get interrupted with the email, check your email or pings or any other notifications that you might experience in a low focus session. On the other hand, these low focus sessions that you work on the low focus tasks are the ones that if you get interrupted, you are fine and you have chosen to do that. You know that while you're doing those tasks, you might get interrupted. Someone might walk to your office or ask you a question, and you are okay with that. You designed it this way. It might be some tasks that, you have to fill some forms, and if someone asks you something, you can reply to that, or you even can work on those while you're in a meeting that you don't have to be fully present. You are waiting for your time to come. Some meetings are like that. So these 2 types of tasks are the ones we are dealing with them during a day, at least in my job. The way I know that I'm designing my work week is I know exactly what I'm going to work every week. So this week, for example, I'm going to focus on what I'm going to work on during those high focus sessions and the low focus sessions. And before the day starts, I know exactly these 2 high focus sessions that I have, these are the 2 outcomes coming out of these 2 high focus sessions. So I already know that. And even for the low focus sessions, I already have listed a few tasks that I'm going to finish. So my rule number 1 to you is to know exactly what you are going to work on before the day starts. Before going to that morning meeting that you have to sync, you exactly know what you are going to work on. Because if someone asks you to do something else, you can respond to them what you are going to work on today. And the only person who can hijack that and say, all right, work on this one is your manager. Or if you are working as a team, you can trade those tasks for the other tasks that I'm going to explain in the other rules. What I have noticed, the way we interact with other people in a workplace are through these 4 channels. We either get an email, or we get a ping in the chat, a Slack or something like that, or we have a meeting that we have to do an immediate action, or we have some face-to-face interactions. What I have noticed is that people react to the emails and chat the same way that they react to the face-to-face interactions, and that is wrong. With the email and chats, you need to have those specific time that you check your email and chats, and you have enough time to decide. You can say, all right, I'm going to put this on my list of the tasks, and at the end of the day, I can decide whether I can work on this, or I can delegate it to someone else, or I can give them a time that I can finish it. But with the meetings and the face-to-face interactions, you need to have an immediate action. You immediately have to tell them whether you want to work on it or not. So if you don't know what you are going to work on, then you are going to say yes without knowing what you are going to work on during the day. So you are going to accept it. So do not respond to the chats or emails the way you interact with the face-to-face interactions. But these two, the face-to-face interactions that comes in the meetings and the face-to-face one-on-one or meetings that you have to interact with the people and you cannot wait and check your calendar, you cannot check your tasks, right? So you have to immediately say yes or no. So for those two, you need to be clear. I have noticed that like during these two kind of situations in the meetings that you have to immediately speak or the face-to-face interactions, what you can do is to trade your priorities and do not stack all the tasks and then push your hours to 2 a.m. and work over the weekend to just be on top of your priorities. So you can trade your priorities, and that happens if you have a long view from your week and your projects that you are working on. So if you already know what you are going to work or what are your priorities for this week and the projects that you are working on, then if someone else asks you to do another project, you can trade that project for another one. Don't just add them on top of the past projects and just call it, all right, I'm going to work on all of these, because you do not know how many meetings and other things are associated with that project, and you just underestimate how much time you need to spend to finish that project. So you can trade that. But in order to trade that project or priority, you already should know what you are going to work on, what are your priorities, how you have designed your week, and you know what you are going to work on. If you don't know these simple questions, then you are going to say, yes, I'm going to work on it. And you cannot decide on the spot to say no. You just say yes. And then you are going to deal with it later. You're going to say, I'm going to work on it later. And it's not a big deal. But you don't know how much time you already have to spend to finish the current projects that you are working on. It all comes to being clear with yourself and the team that you are working with. So these 3 rules are the rules that I follow every time that I'm taking a new project or task, and I wanted to share it with you. If you're getting your job and you're new to a corporate environment, just take these as a lesson and apply it to your day-to-day work. That's it for this video. If you have any issue with focus to work on a task, I made a video on how to fix it. I'm going to put the link over here. You can go and watch that video. See you in the next one.